Hey, what's going on guys? Oscarmini here, and here in this video, I'm going to compare the TECNO Phantom 9, which was TECNO's flagship device from last year, against the newly announced Camon 15 Premier. We'll check out the camera, speed, and whether you should even bother getting an upgrade to this new device. So without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. So let's talk prices here. To the left is the TECNO Phantom 9, which was priced at 77,000 Naira or about $200 as a time of launch. While we have the Camon 15 Premier to the right, coming in at about $50 more for 95,000 Naira. And as far as these prices go, you're getting on both devices 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage. Now that price and memory are out of the way, let's talk about the build and design. I vividly remember my first impressions of the Phantom 9 when I held it for the first time. It was simply amazing to hold and was a sigh of relief from the large devices I had gotten used to at that point, and that hasn't changed for me. A side note, the color I have here is called the Lapland Aurora. The Camon 15 on the other hand is a large device that definitely needs your two hands for efficient operations. This color is called the Opal White. As far as ports and I/O, they both have basically the same ports. Micro USB 2.0, 3.5mm jack ports, down-firing speaker grills. The rear camera on the Camon 15 Premier actually bulges more than that on the Phantom 9. The one thing that gets going for the Phantom 9 would be that in-display fingerprint sensor, which is more modern. But again, the Camon 15 Premier has the tried and trusted rear biometric sensor, which is faster, and also the pop-up front-facing camera. At the end of the day, I don't think there's a clear winner here, as I feel quality and build for these two devices is a matter of choice and is subjective. One might prefer a larger device to a smaller one, and vice versa. Now let's talk display. You get an LCD panel but at a higher resolution, which is 1080p on the Camon 15 Premier, while the Phantom 9 has an AMOLED panel, and with this resolution also at 1080p. So in this case, I kinda prefer the colors coming off the Camon 15 Premier. That's because the quality coming off the display is more true to life than the saturated imagery you get from the AMOLED on the Phantom 9, which has more PPI density by the way. One thing to note is that you get higher resolution on these displays. That's comparing a 6.6-inch to a 6-inch display. So for display, I would say it's a matter of preference also. As far as performance go here, they are more like the same device, with both having the Helio P35 processor, 6GB of RAM and 128GB of RAM. The only difference is that the Phantom 9 runs on Android 9, while the Camon 15 Premier runs on Android 10, and obviously both on different versions of the iOS skin, which are 5 and 6 respectively. Here is a speed test for both devices. Coming over to the battery department, the Camon 15 Premier is a clear winner here. It comes packed with a 4000 mAh battery as opposed to the 3500 mAh from the Phantom 9. I know the Phantom 9 has a smaller display and more so an AMOLED panel, which should service the battery usage as opposed to the bigger LCD on the Camon 15. But in my real life test, the Camon 15 Premier is a longer lasting device. You can check out the various battery drain tests I have for this devices, link in the description below. It's time to talk about the cameras on these devices. The Camon 15 Premier has a quad camera setup featuring a 64MP main lens, 5MP ultra-wide which doubles as the macro lens, 2MP depth sensor and a QVGA for low light, while the Phantom 9 comes packed with a triple camera setup which has 16MP main lens, 8MP ultra-wide and a 2MP depth sensor. To the front, you get to see a 32MP sensor on both. Now let's get to talk how they perform in real life. After taking photos, one thing is evident. The photos coming from the Camon 15 Premier had more details to the shots. Color reproduction also was more vibrant. The rear camera also from the Camon has a wider field of view than the Phantom, and there's a better macro lens owing to more pixels in the sensor. This is also applicable to the front camera and also in videos. You can see for yourself. So which should you pick between the TECNO Camon 15 Premier and the TECNO Phantom 9? Now the obvious all-round winner would be the Camon 15 Premier, but when you consider the price, you might not justify spending that extra $50 or about 20,000 naira for the Camon 15 Premier. These two devices are a close tie at a lot of sections aside the camera, and if you already own the TECNO Phantom 9, you might want to hold on to it as it's still a pretty decent device. But if you otherwise want the best amongst the two, go for the Camon 15 Premier. So there you have it, my comparison between the TECNO Phantom 9 and the Camon 15 Premier. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as I'd love to hear from you. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Also click on that bell icon next to the subscription button to stay notified around here. Other than that, it's goodbye and I'ma catch you in the next one. Cuídate.